Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for having me.
I didn't know. I
Uh,
was supposed to resend you the link, but I guess that one worked because I just opened new meeting. So let me just mention to viewers how incredible this last expedition was. The Miami University expedition that I just came back from. All our students came back from. It was July 8th through about July 17th, but I was there longer in Nairobi. But those were the expedition days, and James here, he assisted us on a few of those days at the Laleano Resource Center near the Maasai Mara, which the Laleano Resource Center is in the South Rift Valley, which is a beautiful, huge valley teeming with wildlife, and we camped out there, and it was just an incredible 4 days of camping and doing those game drives early in the morning. And he had James had a DJI camera with him, and he was recording certain students doing interviews in the car because it was such a convenient little camera. And I just that made me realize the potential of you and I and other people working together with tribes and recording incredible footage, making awesome videos, and sharing it with the world on YouTube, on Instagram, whatever. So it was a really fun time. That expedition, working with the communities, was very eye-opening. The Maasai tribe, I still have what the Maasai made for me on my bracelet because you can't really take this off, but I don't want to take it off. It's awesome. And I bought a lot of stuff from like local communities. This is an Africa necklace. Yeah, I have way more stuff I bought. It was a life-changing trip, and I'm glad I met this man right here, James. I never caught your last name.
Madeli.
Madeli. Okay, James Madeli. Okay, awesome. Because
Yeah.
there's another James, James the Ranger. So I was trying not to confuse students when I tell them I was interviewing you. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a little background, I guess, for viewers. And we got incredible footage too, so stay tuned for more of that on the channel and my Instagram. But we're going to talk about a lot of conservation related topics throughout this interview. And I have them listed out. Did you want to start off with anything? Because James also thought of some bullet points that he wanted to talk about in this discussion.
I
Okay.
can
Yeah, let's
certainly.
go on. Yeah.
Um, my name is James Madeli. I am from Tanzania. I'm based in Arusha. It's northern part of the country. And from 2017, I've been doing research in like wildlife and nature related places. And I've been studying giraffes for the last 5, 6 years. And I started my work as a volunteer. I met these two wonderful people, American scientists who came to Tanzania 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And they started a long-term research on giraffes. And when I finished school in 2017, I've always had this passion for wildlife, and and these people were perfect for me. So they offered an opportunity for me to volunteer, and I started there. And maybe a few months later, I got hired because I was so passionate, and every task that I was given, I did so well.
Yeah. And
Yes.
right now you're working at the Wild Nature Institute.
Yes, that's based in Tanzania.
Okay.
And we started with few national parks, but now we've gone to almost every national park in the country.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
the position you are in Wild Nature Institute, what is that again? What is the job title?
I'm a research coordinator.
Research coordinator. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I take part in all research works. So in the beginning, I was more of research assistant, helping with collecting data and so forth. But then I was more integrated in the work, and I and now I have a few publications myself. I have
Oh wow.
yeah, I work. I did Arusha National Park giraffe comparison study. There
Mhm.
was study 40 years ago, and then we designed a study to compare the population then and now. And
Okay.
yeah, with help of these experts, I was able to get my name in one of the
The
or
pub-
two publications.
are they like articles? The publications?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
articles.
Okay, gotcha. Like peer-reviewed literature on, like I can find it too on like Google Scholar and stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Can certainly, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's something I want to do as soon as I figure out how to do that. It would be cool because I want to
Yeah.
get publications on like regenerative farming in the US and stuff. Um,
Um,
but let's see here. So I wrote the bullet points down of the topics that we want to talk about.
So actually, in 2 days, I'll be in Arusha for a workshop, and this is organized by people from Kenya and northern Tanzania who are trying to restore connectivity of the rangelands in northern Tanzania. This has been something that I'm also interested in, and I'll tell you more about what we are going to discuss. But there'll be experts from different places, and what for people who do not know is that the conservation in East Africa and pretty much any other place has some challenges, and the biggest being overpopulation and people moving closer and closer to these protected areas. Number of people is increasing, but the size of the land remains the same. So these animals are being pushed to smaller areas every day. What I also learned at Soralo with incredible group of students from US, Saadat being one of them, is that Maasai communities have managed and for a very long time have been living in harmony with wildlife, and they've managed to do this because of their culture and the way they use land. So they use land mostly for grazing their livestock, and it doesn't take much from wildlife because they know how to alternate, how to switch places and leave some areas for wildlife and some for livestock. But now the things that are arising with um, different people coming to these people who, by different people, I mean non-Maasai indigenous people who practice farming and this type of land use, and who are causing some big problems, really. Because if you have a pumpkin farm next to where you have elephants or watermelon, certainly you're going to have problems with elephants. So this workshop that I'm looking forward to attending is about restoring all these rangelands and maybe Maasai people who are actual owners, original owners of these areas, to have like land ownership certificates which are legally respected and recognized, so that for many years to come, we have these free ranging animals without fragmentation or breaks from. Although we are still doing very well. Our giraffe population is the highest in
Oh, wow.
Africa. You can say that.
Nice.
Now we also have dense populations of elephants over 100,000. I think we are third, or if not second,
Okay.
after Botswana and Zimbabwe. We also have highest density of lions. So we still do
Wow.
well. We still do pretty well, but we it's just an eye opener to start finding solutions before it's too late.
When you say you have the highest density of lions and the highest giraffe population, which region are you talking about right now?
Most of tourism in Tanzania is in the northern part, but also in Kenya it's more of the south. So you have Nairobi and Masai Mara
Mhm.
bordering Tanzania. So northern Tanzania and southern Kenya, they were originally connected. They were all one big landscape. So they like lion population, like giraffes. We have Maasai giraffes here and in Kenya, and some lions from Serengeti move as far as Masai Mara in Kenya and come back. So yeah, these are, we have Manyara, Tarangire ecosystems and Serengeti Ngorongoro ecosystem. These are like biggest ecosystems in the world. Yeah.
And I think I told you I'm fascinated by Serengeti and Ngorongoro crater, and I really wanted to visit Tanzania. Like at the end of my expedition, I wanted to drive down there, but I wasn't able to schedule all that out. But next, that's for like a separate trip in my life that I want to go to Ngorongoro, Serengeti. But yeah, it's just fascinating. The Ngorongoro crater is like it's like a big crater with a rim that's like very high. That's why giraffes can't go in there, I heard, because they can't climb
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
crater. Yeah, that's amazing. And the fact that there's a full ecosystem inside the crater, because it's like 100 square miles or something. That's
Yeah, yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
That's like a Eden.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of documentaries on that. Yeah, I'm very fascinated by African wildlife and African conservation. The way you guys do conservation is different than Western style conservation. Started by Theodore Roosevelt and John Muir is what initiated Western style conservation in the U.S. But that was one of the main focuses of our expedition, learning the differences and learning the limitations of Western conservation, because it's for viewers that don't know, Western conservation is just setting aside huge swaths of land and just kind of disconnecting from it. Like you're creating these national parks, but there's not much connection between humans and nature there. Whereas there's more of coexistence between humans and nature in the Eastern style conservation. And we learned like different sub focuses within that. For instance, the Maasai is a great example of just how connected those people are. All indigenous communities have tremendous knowledge of their ecology of their landscape, and the Maasai are no different. So they're just like a part of the ecosystem. They're not like harming the ecosystem. They actually benefit it. They enhance their local ecology with their lifestyle. And James sent me a lot of footage of Maasai tribes doing. You sent me a lot of stuff. So he sent me stuff with the cattle. Their connection to cattle is amazing. Maasai's relationship to cow is amazing. I was watching a David Western podcast on YouTube. He's a major conservationist in East Africa, and he mentioned that the Maasai are actually the first cowboys. It's not the American English settlers that we tend to think of as the first cowboys. It's actually the Maasai that are the first cowboys, because they've been around for thousands of years, and they just mastered the cow to exist with the cow and to benefit from every single part of the cow. That's why some of my topics that I want to talk about are related to ungulate species in the USA, like bison, elk, and their impact on our landscape.
I'm excited to hear also
Okay.
about.
I just want to talk about like bison and elk populations and natural history of those two species in the US and how it relates to Africa, because I found that there's way more animals, like the animal density of East Africa is way higher than the animal density of the USA. Even just the national parks in the USA, there's not nearly, like, for example, Yellowstone National Park is massive compared to Amboseli National Park. And Amboseli National Park, the number of large megafauna in that park, which is very small compared to Yellowstone, is way higher than the number of animals in Yellowstone. So when you're in Yellowstone, you're driving through, the odds of you actually seeing animals are not nearly as high as in these African parks. The sheer number of elephants in Amboseli was mind-blowing. Like the whole horizon was dotted with elephants at one point when we were there. And I can only imagine the impact, the carbon footprint, and just the impact an elephant has on an ecosystem is huge. So it's just cool to see how there's so many animals still in East Africa, and managing that it's got to be difficult, especially for something like elephant. In the US, I'm trying to get to my point here, my bad. I'm just like ranting. In the US, the bison and elk populations have dropped from like the natural number, which used to be 30 million to 60 million bison. The number is not exactly known, but it was tens of millions of bison. Now there's only about 5,000 in the wild and about 500,000 in different farms. So it's a huge drop. And we kind of replaced bison with cows in the USA. But unfortunately, most of those cows are not impacting the ecology, a lot of them, because they're factory farmed cows. So we're just growing grain through monoculture style agriculture to feed the cows, which are not even out on pasture. They're in like feedlot situations, grain fed. And then we're just kind of mass producing this meat to feed the American population for the most part. There's still regenerative farming going on and it's increasing, and I love that. And I'm working with a few regenerative farmers. But in East Africa, that's not the case, right? Like the people, there's not much factory farming going on in East Africa compared to USA. Okay.
No.
So where does the cow meat, how is it produced for, say, like Kenya, Tanzania area? Does it just come from local farmers?
Yeah, they are from local farmers, and there are a few ranches for milk production in commercial level, but also the way the grazing and looking after is just as a normal herd. The difference being there are few different breeds that are not local, just to maximize milk and stuff like this. But all this is not common. So usually, locally, the household level, people just slaughter whatever they have from their homes. These animals are not, they are like living free, they are not there to be just waiting for a day to be slaughtered. So they go out, they go different places, they interact with each other, and they're healthier because they walk like many miles a day. And for Maasai, I can speak usual meal, like every day you either have milk or you either have blood or goat meat or beef, all these things. But other tribes in Tanzania, and it's pretty much the same in Uganda, Kenya, Nigeria, everywhere. It's all domesticated farming, and they just choose one from the herd and slaughter one. So it's not very commercialized.
Yeah, it's not commercialized, and that makes me think of in the US, processed foods is like the majority of what everybody consumes in America. We're notorious for that, and that's why we have the highest obesity, the highest statistics for overweight people because of the processed foods. They're addictive, they're not natural, and the typical American palate, their taste buds, they desire soft meat that you put in your mouth and it's like melt in your mouth, and they want more of that. They like that. But when I was in Nairobi, I had nyama choma, and it was some of the best meat I ever had in my life. But it was very chewy, and I liked the fact that it was chewy. It was like it's working my jaw muscles, my teeth, the health of my jaws and teeth are because of like they're being used. I'm using my jaw muscles, and if you don't use it, there's a lot of studies that show like all the deformed jaw muscles, deformed lower jaws, just because that person had nothing but melt in your mouth food his whole life. And there's like showing like it's because the jaw's not being used basically. And now in America, there's this thing called a jawzerciser. It's like a small little device you put in your mouth and you exercise your jaw muscle. And to me, that's just so funny because it's like now you're ignoring the root of the problem and trying to make another solution to make more money. But that's kind of like the history of America. Just everything's money motivated. But if we go back and solve the root of the problem, it's actually long term, it's actually good for the economy too, because you can't keep producing foods like this. You can't keep doing that to the landscape. It has a limit. So like Africa just blew my mind how every piece of meat I purchased anywhere, it was just most of the time it was never frozen. Like that animal was slaughtered, sent to the store, then it was never even frozen. So that's as good as it gets. And it makes me wish like maybe America can learn from that why can't some farmers walk their goats around here in a controlled way, and then supply the restaurants? It would be so much less fossil fuel consumption. You're not transporting meats across states and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Processed foods in the USA and the environmental impact of that is one of the topics I just wanted to talk about here. And I want to make videos with you about this stuff. Like maybe whenever I come, or even before then, as James is sending me footage, I want to talk about this stuff, like the beauty of the systems that East Africa has for meat production and connection to nature.
Yeah, I agree with you. That for some reasons people can't do the same as we do here. We still have all these open areas where you can graze freely, and also, yeah, it's unfortunate for people in the US not to experience what we experience here. But as you have done, you come here, you learn different stuff, and yeah, I think Maasai people are doing really well to kind of remind us to go back to our can I say default settings.
Yeah.
Like what makes sense us with respect to nature and how they do things that they do, because of the unhealth foods in the US and meat, how it's processed. Some people have opted to be, vegetarians and, all this stuff for their health. But if you come here, like Maasai are one of the healthiest people.
Yeah.
I can tell you. And like Maasai youth, Moran, these are like protectors of community and livestock. They have, and all the like military age Maasai males, they have something called orpul. Orpul is where they go to place in the wild, like in a bush, and with a whole cow.
Stay there for weeks. You told me about this. Yeah. It's called what?
Orpul. Orpul. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And they'll be there just soup and beef and some traditional herbs. And it's for stamina and just to reconnect among boys. Also, women also have their share, which is brought home. I think you listened to the lecture of the head of Soralo.
Yeah.
He explained very well the division of labor and how things are run among Maasai. It's ORPUL, or pool.
Orpul. Okay, let me make a note of that. That's very fascinating.
That's very fascinating.
So, yeah. Imagine if we could make a video on that. That would be amazing content.
Actually, some of the videos that I sent you where it's just a small section of Orpul. They haven't made it so official, but they had just one small sheep, and three boys were out. They slaughtered it, processed it themselves. I take that with soup, and no any other, no carbs, nothing. It's just
no salt. Do you put salt in the meat?
No salt.
Wow, that's just as good, as natural as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still very tasty because there's something about these locally bred livestock. Even milk from these cows that are just free ranging is very tasty. You don't even have to add sugar or something like this.
Oh yeah, so, I tried that milk.
Yeah.
Without my professors knowing, Nelson, he let me try the milk. So that was awesome. It was the best milk I ever had.
Yeah, it's really good. So like now I have a friend who a university student who just finished university, who wants to come and volunteer at my organization.
Mm-hmm.
And he finished his studies last week. And when he got home, his dad told him that you are weak. You should
Oh,
go to Orpul for a whole month, and then other activities can resume. So
wow.
he's out there. I can't even reach him on his phone.
He's on pool right now.
Yeah, he's on
Wow.
Orpul right now. It can go up to 2 months.
Wow. So he's just him, nobody else, and he's just trying to eat this whole cow.
No, he's not alone. So how they
Oh.
do it is they can contribute, like few families can come together
Mhm.
and each can contribute a cow. And so they need cows. If there are many, they can be up to 50
Mhm.
boys. Yeah. So if they have cows, they also have some traditional medicine, and
Okay.
then off they go. They would stay there for a whole month
And
and
the camp,
just
or where are they
yeah,
living?
in the bush. They don't mind sleeping under a tree.
And no tent, just like out in the open.
No tent, old school
Uh,
way.
let's say hyena clan shows up, lion,
No,
they don't do
no,
anything. Okay.
no, yeah. And I can tell you that I have done studies. I've gone a few times collecting data of giraffes in these places where Maasai are living, and like giraffes can tell if you're a Maasai or not, like the way they dress.
Oh yeah.
So
Wow.
that flight distance between person with trousers and all these modern clothes, giraffe would not wait for you. They will run. But if it's a Maasai guy, can walk as close as maybe 3-4 meters because
Oh,
they're living together. Yeah, like they treat like one of their own.
they probably think of tourists as like another species than the Maasai.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it.
I wonder if I wear my whole Maasai outfit, because I purchased the whole entire Maasai outfit, if they would not care, because I have everything, even the weapon that they gave me. I bought
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
It's amazing. Like I wore the outfit, the full outfit, and I really like it, and it's comfortable. I want to maybe even
Really.
record some videos
Yeah,
maybe while wearing it.
yeah. You can definitely do that.
Yeah, like when I talk about the Maasai, if I'm wearing the whole outfit, I feel like that's good for the video.
Yeah, makes more sense. Yeah.
So they take a live cow out into the bush and they slaughter it at the location.
Yes, yes.
And then that location is where they start eating and everybody starts sharing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful because there's this notion in America that beef is bad for your health and it's bad for the planet. But a lot of that notion is because of larger corporations and their agendas. Uh,
Yeah.
like how many companies have benefited off plant-based products is crazy. And plant-based products, if you look at it, is like a very long list of ingredients. It's some of the most processed foods on earth. And the fact is that a lot of companies are just trying to make money off of the public, off the mass population to try to brainwash them in that way to where they seek out plant-based products as consumers. And by the way, this is not just me thinking about this stuff. This is in the book Sacred Cow. So if any viewers are watching this right now, read that book, Sacred Cow, by Diana Rogers. It's called Sacred Cow, and they talk a lot about that. And Paul Saladino. Paul Saladino is an American MD. He's a doctor as well as a big time creator. He also talks about this stuff in depth. So you guys can check him out. I want to collaborate with Paul Saladino once I get my following up because he's so truthful. He'll expose these big corporations and he would love to work with the Maasai. I just know he would, because he's one of those guys. He's always eating beef and talking about the benefits of beef, because beef is so healthy. Like 50 grams of protein from beef is not the same as 50 grams of protein from some processed plant-based product, because those 50 grams are not as bioavailable. So he talks about that stuff. Like they're not beef is so bioavailable, meaning like your body can actually use the protein. Whether it's 50 grams or not, it's all going toward your body. It's going within you. Whereas the other stuff that's not as bioavailable, it's just going out the other end. So there's those factors you can't even, they're not written on the nutrition labels. You have to like seek that out, seek that knowledge out. And meat is healthy. Like one entire cow is so many different types of nutrients in that cow. Like if you eat the organs and everything, it's everything your body needs. Do you guys like when you do orpool, do they like to eat the liver or do they like cherish the organs
Yeah,
like that? Okay. So
they do. They do.
do they cook it
Like
or eat it raw?
they can eat it raw. Liver,
Okay.
you can eat it raw.
That's what I do. Yeah, I eat liver raw. Not all the time because it's so nutrient dense. You could actually get vitamin toxicity from it, but like it's an incredible food. So I would love
Yeah.
to. Or pool. Okay.
Now we can prepare one for you. If you come,
Yeah.
get you to our pool straight away.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, bring the cameras and everything, show the process. Are they
Yeah.
just they have knives with them to cut the body and stuff? They have tools, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they have like every Maasai gentleman has a knife always with them.
Okay.
But if you get invited anywhere, you're always ready to just
Yeah.
get your share. Yeah.
Wow. And so like the liver, do they always eat it raw or they sometimes cook it?
No, they can have it, they can eat it raw, just like an appetizer,
Hmm.
but it's mostly for making soup. So they make soup from liver and the intestines. Yeah. So that makes very, very, very delicious soup.
And which tribes do or pool?
Only Maasai do or pull, but other tribes also have their own ways of doing something like this. Like if your body is weak, some herbs you can have, and they have ways to treat all these like malaria, all these diseases and
Mhm.
sickness. These
Wow.
guys have traditional ways of treating it, and it's incredible. They're people with lots of experience. They know roots of different trees. Yeah, so like different tribe has different ways of doing that.
That's also amazing. The fact they use medicinal plants as medicine like that. Yeah, people in the US are amazed by that. Like they want to know more. And I want to share the connection that Maasai have with the medicinal plants. Also, I had a quick question for you. What is this weapon called again? I forgot what they told me.
This is rungu, Rungu, rungu.
Rungu. Okay. And the story behind that is, from what I remember, they have to like subdue a male lion with the rungu,
Yeah,
for a young Maasai man rite of passage.
yeah. Not only Maasai use that; it's everywhere. Not only it's not exclusive to Maasai, but they have it.
Hmm. And do
So
they still do that? The subduing a lion out in the wild? Do they still, this 2024 still do that?
some places, but now there've been so much awareness around killing lions and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
But in case if it happens that he's been cornered by a lion, lions are they are very scared of getting injuries or scars or stuff like this because it means they may not hunt.
Mhm.
So just a small, just a tiny smack in the head,
Okay.
lion will run. Will run.
I guess because they just get
So
scared. Yeah, okay.
you get scared. Yeah.
I'm fascinated by large carnivores and I love them so much. Like I'm always looking for ways for supporting wolf conservation in America. But that's a heated topic. There's the rural area people, they do not want to live alongside wolves for obvious reasons. And the city people, they vote, they have the right to vote just like them. So there's a lot of you gotta like know the details of the situation. So you can't just say wolves are great because sometimes like the people that have them in their backyards, they're the ones that are actually affected by them. So we're trying to find coexistence with the gray wolf here in North America. They got recently reintroduced into Colorado, which I was very happy about. But now some farmers have been telling me like, yeah, their lives have decreased in quality because of that.
Oh,
But You guys have hyenas, which is like kind of the equivalent to the gray wolf here in North America. It's around the same weight, around the same body structure,
Yeah,
but it's very different.
yeah,
But yeah, that's
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, really important. Hyenas are really important for the ecosystem.
Oh yeah.
They've been misunderstood for many years.
You,
People thought of them as just scavengers,
yeah, you can
but
see how
they
much I love hyenas from this. I drew this before.
very the incredible drawing. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. This took like 4 hours, but I'm so fascinated by hyena morphology and stuff that I was just
yeah.
drawing up in the zone.
If you follow their life history, they are like very interesting.
Okay.
They aren't they are like very important. If you don't have hyenas in the ecosystem, it's going to be a disaster.
I see. Because one of the reasons is because they clean up the carcasses, dead bodies, they'll just kind of, okay.
Yeah. But also they take out weak individuals. They hunt a lot.
Yeah, they're really
And
successful hunters that which a lot of people don't know.
yeah,
They have a higher success rate than lions, right? For hunting.
yeah.
And it's often the case that lions will just steal from what the hyenas successfully hunt, right?
Yeah, they steal.
That's wow.
But also hyenas steal from cheetahs. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
it all
It's a cycle. Wow. So hyenas will steal from cheetahs, leopards too. They'll steal from leopards.
yeah, they will also steal from leopards.
Okay.
And also these big cats, they could fight, but they're afraid of injuries
Yeah.
and like hyenas have this powerful bite.
Oh yeah.
Very good bite. Let go, yeah.
Is that why the leopard doesn't want to engage? Because I know a leopard is
No,
very powerful. It doesn't want to engage in combat with the hyena because of that
yeah,
jaw. Okay.
yeah. It's powerful and any injury, they are all solitary hunters. No one is going to bring food for you. And
Wow.
it's just they say just let it go and I can always find another one.
Is that part of the reason why lions actually engage in combat with hyenas more? Because they're not solitary. They have like a group helping them. That's why they can afford
Yeah,
to be injured. Okay.
yeah, yeah. I think like resident males, the big males, they steal from females. They have ways. They have brothers, they have coalition, they can just hang along and somehow they get food.
That's fascinating stuff. I would love to be just like specializing in researching that topic right there. So
Um,
cool. Is there any topic you have in mind you want to dive into right now that you wanted to talk about?
yeah, I'm happy to hear more from you.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure. I just wanted to like make sure you got the chance to say all your things. Uh,
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk again about bison and how, like I told you, the continent of North America had like 30 million to 50 million, or I mean 60 million bison. That's what the landscape could support during before English settlers colonized it. But now there are efforts. So now there's 500,000 bison left, most of which are on farms, around 500,000. And so that's a big drop from 30 million to not even 1 million. So now there's like indigenous efforts in North America to reintroduce bison to different parts of America and North America. So one of them I just wanted to share with you called the Intertribal Buffalo. Hold on one second. Intertribal Buffalo Council. So I just wanted to share that organization with you because they're doing similar work in North America, just reintroducing animals onto the landscape. And it's the Shoshone uh, indigenous peoples that are leading it. I can send you the website.
Yeah, I'll be very happy to learn.
Okay. Yeah. I love to connect. Oh, I see the footage you sent me. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm just playing it right now. That's so cool. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that meat is very chewy because it's never been
Yeah,
frozen.
it is. It is.
Did their jaws
Very,
hurt from chewing so much? Does
Yeah,
it burn? Okay.
sometimes like the food is not, you're not contented with food, but you just get tired and you say, that's it.
I see the video. They're like cooking something in a pot, like a leg.
Yeah, that's the whole ship.
Oh, and
Like,
in that pot, is there like any spices or is it just water?
just water, no
Just water.
spices.
That's
Yeah,
so
but
natural.
still makes the best soup.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, because I'm a hunter in America. We hunt. You can hunt, but it's not the same as hunting out there. It's a lot. I would say it's disconnected more than over there because we have all this equipment and clothes and firearms. So like I'm always trying to get meat from the wild, directly from the source, meat from the forest, do all the work myself to put food on my plate, take the responsibility to do all that. That's why I hunt. I have no desire to kill animals for any other reason other than put food on my plate to feed myself so I don't have to buy the factory farmed meat, support that stuff. That's why I hunt. And I always wanted to just be more connected. I'm thinking in my head, like, what can I do to be even more connected, even more part of the ecosystem? So eventually, I want to be a longbow hunter with a recurve bow, I'll start off with like a crossbow. But right now, I use firearms because I just started hunting, and that's recommended for a beginner because you don't want to maim an animal. You want to get a humane shot, and that's important to me. So when I hunt, I always think like once I hunted a squirrel and I was just looking at the body and I'm thinking like how I'm gonna season it. But then I started thinking about like what is in this forest where like if I lived here, I wouldn't have any seasoning. So I was thinking like if I could just use a fire, cook it, how that would taste. And that's exactly what they're doing. There's no added spices here. There's just the meat.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And then they're cutting up an organ here, or oh, that looks like liver, or no? It looks like a lot of collagen, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to share the situation of bison in America, and I shared with you the Intertribal Buffalo Council. But there's more efforts to reintroduce bison. Right now, the biggest wild bison population in America is in Yellowstone, and that's like the genetic diversity from the original herds is still there. It's dropped because it's so much lower of a number, 5,000,
Mm.
not a big high number. But it's just cool because the original 30 million or so bison, it was cut down, it was hunted down all the way to 5,000, and that 5,000 is what you see in Yellowstone right now. And that's like our animal. That's like our most iconic American animal. That and the bald eagle. It's about the same size as a buffalo of Africa, the water buffalo, the Cape buffaloes. So it's very similar to that. And in terms of size, it's a large ungulate, and it's like on our it's on our a lot of our state flags and coins and stuff. So very iconic animal. So I love to share that animal with anybody I meet in East Africa, just so they know like this is our kind of symbol of America. I'm trying to share. Uh, Hold on. I sent you that link, right? itbcbuffalonation.org.
Yeah. Seen it. Yeah.
Okay, let me send it.
Yeah.
Oh, it went, yeah.
It's here. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. ITBC. Yeah.
mhm.
All right.
Yeah, that's the one. And do you know quite a bit about national parks in the US? Like our species that we have and stuff?
Um. I know a few. I know a few.
And then
Um.
I want to share with you one more documentary. It's just a documentary on Yellowstone that came out recently. So I just want to share that one with you. It's on YouTube.
The link.
Yeah, it's called Yellowstone Documentary BBC Select. So I think it's a BBC documentary, but the thumbnail on this video is an elk, ELK, and that's also a
Mhm.
massive ungulate. It's like 800 pounds. But yeah, those are our huge ungulates. And then Africa has things that are way bigger. There are African ungulates. The giraffe is way bigger than bison and elk combined. You know,
Yeah.
like Africa's on a whole nother level. It's like prehistoric sized animals.
Yeah.
But they all fascinate me. And the last topic, the last bullet point I wanted to talk about in this conversation was ecotourism. I just wanted to dive into ecotourism a little bit, how it is in East Africa, how it is in America, and the potential for ecotourism. So, did you want to talk about how it is a little bit in Tanzania area, ecotourism efforts? Any ecotourism
Um,
lodges that you know of?
it's something that is now more and more common, and all these like the tourism in the past was not did not so people who are here they have grown up seeing all these wildlife, and for them to go to these national parks, it will be like it will sound like a joke if you would invite some Maasai guy to go with them to a safari and see lions. Like they live with them every day.
Yeah.
It was is mostly Europeans and Americans coming to these places. Yeah, it's there are lots of efforts to conserve nature,
Mhm.
and it's actually tourism that is helping conservation. During pandemic, there were no tourists coming. We're really struggling with paying ranges because all the illegal activities are still going on,
Mhm.
and people were capitalizing on that. So like tourism, ecotourism in some places in Arusha, it's really important, and it's becoming vital part of conservation, but also
The demand for ecotourism is rising in the consumer world as well. And like people when they book vacations, a lot of them are looking for ecotourism lodges, nature-based lodges. I think it's mainly
yeah,
the middle to upper class crowd. But there's one of my friends of this group, Ashley Rivet. She was in this expedition with us. I'm sure you met her. She's like her paper is based on ecotourism, and she's trying to like find the data that reveals like how eco-friendly they truly are. Like an ecotourism lodge, is it actually eco-friendly, or are they just using ecotourism as a label? So she's kind of studying that, and she's visiting different ecotourism lodges. And I think there's tremendous potential for like coexistence with nature for ecotourism lodges if they're like actually benefiting the ecology. Because then it's just a win-win. It's like a spectacle for humans to come visit, and there's money flow, so it helps the economy. And if it also
yeah,
enhances the ecosystem, that's just like both of them are going up right there. So yeah, there's a lot of potential with ecotourism lodges, and that topic is also something I'm pretty fascinated by. I love to visit ecotourism lodges whenever I get the chance.
yeah. There are a few now. I think it's increasing. I think people would just love it when you have that title. It's ecotourism. It
Yeah.
sounds nice. People just book it, and I think they're doing well. I think they are actually helping, because the way they build, they use material from like local stuff. Like they
Mhm.
may use rocks and some for like building all the building materials. I think there are a few here where I stay, where they use all natural and locally manufactured building material,
Mhm.
and also type of flowers and decorations that they make,
Mhm.
um, are supporting birds or wildlife. So I think if we have more of these in national parks, I think it would be really nice. Now the problem we have in most of our national parks is that more and more lodges are not hidden anymore. In the past, We used to have like lodge 2, 3 at the center of Serengeti, but they're well hidden, like they look identical, like camouflage with nature, the building and the color, so that it doesn't distract wildlife so much. But if you have shiny metals uh, at the roof and it reflects light,
Oh, wow.
uh, it's very confusing to wildlife. So, but
Yeah.
if they use like grass for roofing and like you have wildlife coming in and they won't mind these lodges in the area, they won't change their habits that much. So
Yeah.
ecotourism, it's a
Yeah, I didn't even
thing that
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like using shiny materials, how it would be bad for wildlife. The reflection will confuse them, and because that's true, it definitely will. And so you got to think about all those little details. And I'm sure some eco lodges they just use the name ecotourism just to act like they're eco-friendly, and that's going on right now. So it's good to share and talk about this stuff with viewers. And also the mental health boost that visitors get from being in nature is so tremendous. So that's like another benefit of visiting an eco lodge. It's not just like a typical vacation to like say Disney World. You're getting like this connection with nature that's so good for your mental, spiritual, and physical health that other vacation spots don't give you as much as like an ecotourism lodge. So there's that reason that for the demand for it. And the physical health boost as well, which is what I wanted to talk about. The next is the farm to table situation of ecotourism lodges. Like if the breakfast, lunch, and dinner is coming from the land for the visitors, that's just like amazing because if it's sustainably harvesting from the ecosystem and the visitors get to eat farm to table breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's like not only are they in the landscape, they're eating food that's coming from the land. That's a beautiful system. And that system is very rare in America. Like I've no national parks, for example, national parks in America, the only food available is like highly processed foods at those visitor centers. There's like no option to eat regenerative meats in a national park. And that's funny because it's so ironic because here you are in this national park, a celebration of nature, and yet the only thing you can eat is foods that contribute to the destruction of nature at a national park. So that's like very backwards in my opinion. And I think we should change that in the American conservation system. Farm to table restaurants are needed as well in the cities. Farm to table ecotourism lodges. Very good, a very good system that benefits nature and humans.
yeah,
Do you know of
that's
ecotourism lodges in Africa that is like farm to table, or are they most of them like farm to table for the eating situation?
yeah, I know one. You can look it up. I think um it's in West Kilimanjaro,
Okay.
Narakondi Lodge. Let me send it to you.
Okay.
This is one that I've visited.
Okay. Okay. I see it. Uh, Nadaro. Okay. Oh, and the Arusha Hatari.
Yes,
So the food they serve you there, it comes from the land.
yes,
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I'll check this out. Thank you. Is it like the cattle they raise in that land and they feed the guests? Is it cattle meat
yeah.
or
Like uh, from from beef to green vegetables and all that.
Mhm.
It all comes from the gardens and farms that they have themselves.
Yeah.
You also have that in Arusha. So here, I think most of food that we have is from farm to table. This is it's nothing much about industries. We are not that advanced.
Yeah, I got everything. I don't every time I asked like is this local, the answer was yes. When I was in East Africa, it was like because that's so rare here in America. Like if you go to a Panera Bread or any big chain store, it is not local. It's about as far as local as you can get. And so for me, local is like a rare thing. It's like I love that. I love
Yeah,
how every time I ask that question, it's like, yep, it's local. And
yeah, and it's everyone. It's what everyone does, and people don't realize how special it is because we have nothing else to compare it with. We have
mhm.
like it's what we've always known.
That's your norm. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a growing demand for local in America, so we're on the incline, but it's like a slow progress. It's like you got to
yeah,
change the whole system up. Another thing I wanted to mention was David Western. We worked with him, read his book In the Dust of Kilimanjaro, and then we met him and we listened to him give his talk and asked him questions. It was amazing. And in one of his podcasts that I listened to, he said these national parks in East Africa, they should more so the money shouldn't go to the government. Like he was proposing the idea of instead of having a national park, having like a Maasai park, where the money goes right back to the community. And that's like a really good system. Even for the eco lodges, the ecotourism lodges, indigenous community parks, that would be such a good flow of money for the economy, for the local communities would be set. So that's just an idea I wanted to share with you. I'm sure you agree with that.
yeah. Totally agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Well,
Maasai
for the
Park.
yeah,
The last thing I wanted to talk about was like I had just a few questions on Orpool again. So like you're sleeping out in the bush, no tent, and you have all this meat. Isn't there any chance like a hyena, hungry hyena, will come try to get some meat, or a lion even?
yeah. I think they wouldn't mess with Maasai warriors.
Oh, if they see the Maasai warrior and they turn around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They have ways to process it, like chop it down, make it, and that's how they it stays longer and never worry
Hmm.
about wild animal coming um because it's like a group of 20 men
Okay.
and there's not even much of sleeping. It's more making stories and they can sleep during the day
Oh, wow.
and shift and it's just nice. It's just nice way to catch up
That's beautiful.
and
So
yeah, good time.
there's like a fire all night, and there's
Yeah, 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 it's fire all night
wow.
and yeah, and that is for the boys and also girls also have way to also benefit from that. They also have meat sent home, the beef is sent home,
Hmm.
and for the like that not only just men.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow, that sounds like something I would love. I want to try that when I'm back there. Even if I
yeah.
can,
When you come here,
even if I can just join in for like a few days instead of the whole 2 months, I think that would be awesome.
yeah, you can come for 1 week. If 1 week you live off beef and herbs and you just join them, no internet, nothing like this.
Yeah,
After a week, be much more strong.
yeah, you will be strong. Yeah, your body's immunity and everything to like being one with that landscape. Wait, so 20 people you said? It's never just like one person then doing Orpool?
No, no, never one person.
I feel like if it was just one person, that would be dangerous, right?
Be dangerous, yeah. It's not one person, never one person. Three, four, minimum
Okay.
four.
And I'm
Yeah,
guessing they see a lot of wildlife during the Orpool, like wildlife just from being out there, wildlife that comes
yeah,
by, passes by.
they
Do they
do.
see a lot of carnivores just walking by, migrating past them?
Yeah, but then also food for lions and hyenas is plenty. So
Mhm.
like the temptation, unless this lion is lost, I think it wouldn't. And even if it wants to get some livestock, they will just invade a boma and just grab one goat or something like this.
Oh,
They wouldn't confront a group of determined young Maasai men.
yeah, there's other options for them, like a goat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of options.
that makes sense. Wow.
Yeah.
And you said medicinal plants or herbs and stuff. They eat that as well, not just the cow.
Yeah, it's boiled. It's boiled, and there are specialists who make all these juice from roots and leaves, and all these target different problems. So if you have problems with digestion, constipation problems, they have solution for that. So you take one medicine and it clears everything from your stomach. You're going to have bad stomach that day, but then you have soup and this beef, and then it's all washed from your system, and then you regain that. It's
Oh,
really incredible how they do it.
but when it's washed from your system, how does that happen? Is that just like you take a big break from eating anything?
If you have like food poisoning, or you've just been eating bad food and it's affecting you, there's some kind of medicine they give you,
Hmm.
and you're going to have a running stomach for
Okay.
a day, and then they replace that with this soup and other medicines, and you do that once, but then you start eating proper food,
Okay.
Maasai proper food for a whole week, and then you become more active, more energetic. And
Okay.
so among themselves, they know that after this period, it's time for recharge. They
Yeah.
go for retreat, and you're exhausted and no energy. You go there, and when you come back,
You have
you're
more.
alive.
Okay.
Yeah, you have more. Yeah,
Yeah, like all the foods are so good for you too. Like the Maasai milk, when I drank it, Nelson provided me it. Nelson and Cisco were just watching me drink this milk, and it was so funny. But they recorded a video of me trying out Maasai milk straight from the Maasai cattle, not heated up or anything. Just they told me that they put it in a gourd with ash tree or something as preservative, and that's it. And I drank it. It was so sweet. And I drank like this much of a mug worth, and nothing happened to me. In fact, I felt better. My body felt good. My gut felt so relaxed because I'm sure there's great beneficial bacteria in there for the gut
yeah,
microbiome. Yeah.
yeah,
Is there like yogurts that they make, the Maasai yogurts, kefirs?
yeah. They do. They make. Is it a butter? I don't know what it is, but they shake milk.
Mhm.
We also do that at home. If you milk a cow in the morning,
Mhm.
you filter and you boil it. If you want to get that cream, that fat, you let it stay still overnight, and then the following morning you can shake it. There's a way to tie. I think I'll make a video and
Oh,
send you the whole
sure.
process and how they do it. Um, and then you can use that fat to cook other stuff. So you can cook greens, you can cook even any food you want. So they use fats from milk, and then you have milk as something to drink. You have meat,
Yeah.
something to eat. It's all. You
Yeah.
don't need anything outside that.
There's so many different uses just from one animal, the cow. It's like a amazing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's basically butter, right? Like using milk fat to use for cooking. Or is it
yeah,
similar to butter? Okay.
yes.
We use like grass-fed butter, and we have also beef tallow. We ordered beef tallow from White Oak Pastures in Bluffton, Georgia. It's a big regenerative farm in America. I'm working with them right now to make a short documentary. I have a podcast with Will Harris, a couple of them on my channel right now, and he's a super nice guy. Will Harris. He's on some big podcasts in America, so they're super busy. I'm so happy for their like success with the media side of things. But I recently ordered beef products, beef tallow, and a lot of different things from White Oak Pastures came to my door. So I have a jar of beef tallow, which is just I don't know if you guys call this tallow, but it's just beef fat, rendered beef fat. And then you can use that for cooking. You can use that to put on your face, put on your body. So there's a growing demand for that in America. Yeah, people use the beef tallow. I made my eggs this morning with it, and it tastes amazing. And it's
Yeah,
so much healthier oil than the seed oils that all restaurants in America, most restaurants in America, they use seed oils that have been like mixed and like hydrogenated oils. They're so bad for you. They build up. They have linoleic acid. They build up in different organs in your body, uh, and they get reused in those restaurants. So just like eating out in this country is difficult if you want to be healthy. If more restaurants used beef fat, beef tallow, it would be so much better. And yeah, Paul Saladino talks a lot about that stuff. But yeah, the indigenous peoples in America, they said that there was 150 plus different uses for the bison. So that's crazy. That reminds me of what you were saying right now with like how they separate the milk from the fat, and they use the milk fat to cook with, they use the milk to drink, and probably a bunch of other uses. Just the cow, all within the cow's body, you know. So it's a fascinating animal. It's a fascinating connection we have with ecology, our connection to that animal. The last question is back to the Ngorongoro crater. So inside the crater, or maybe on the outskirts, are there ecotourism lodges? And is Ngorongoro crater a national reserve or a national park? I forget.
it has different management structure, different from national park. It's called Conservation Area
Okay.
Authority.
Okay.
So Ngorongoro itself is a separate case
Mhm.
because it has Maasai people in it. They've been living there forever. They used to be they used to live in Serengeti, and in the 50s they had an agreement with government to leave Serengeti and stay in Ngorongoro. So unlike other national parks, Ngorongoro is kind of unique because you have Maasai people and wildlife in that place. So yeah, in there is a famous Ngorongoro Crater Lodge that has been there for many years. I think there are some videos from 1960s where people have visited Ngorongoro
Oh,
and
wow.
they've seen that. Yeah,
What's that lodge
if
called?
you can, Ngorongoro Crater Lodge, Ngorongoro Crater Lodge.
Okay, I think I see it says and beyond in Ngorongoro Crater Lodge, but
They sold it and beyond, guys. I think and beyond are now in charge. But if you look at videos of Tanzania, if you can just search on YouTube, like videos from 1960s, old videos of Tanzania, I think you see some tourists going to Ngorongoro, and that place is Ngorongoro Crater Lodge.
okay.
It's been there for years.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me. It's been there since which year you said?
Thinking that I think way before 60s, 1960s. I think yeah.
The and beyond, that's the same lodge. They're just working with them right now.
Yeah, and beyond it's a big tourism company.
Okay.
Um, they have businesses operations in different countries.
The one I'm looking at right now, I just sent you an image on WhatsApp. Could you like tell me is that the right one? The image I sent you?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Yeah, that looks beautiful from the images.
Yeah,
And so this is Maasai people are involved with it or no?
yeah, they are involved. They are like neighbors. They're all connected. They are like
So
neighbors.
this looks incredible to me. So is this like an eco-friendly ecotourism lodge? They're doing it well and it's actually
Yeah,
eco-friendly. Okay.
they are doing really well. The way they've built their rooms and the whole structure,
Mhm.
yeah, it resembles some Maasai building
Wow.
techniques.
I want to visit
Yeah,
there for inspiration and to support it. But is it inside the crater or on the outskirts of the crater?
yeah, outskirts. so
Okay.
you can have beautiful view. I
Oh.
think you're not allowed to build down the crater. You can only go.
So it's like on the edge of the crater where like it's
Yeah,
elevated off the ground. Okay. The at the very edge. Okay. At the crater rim.
yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it seems like the Ngorongoro crater is a lot greener than like Serengeti, like those open plains. Does it get more rain or?
They have a lake down there, but it's all the same. It's all one connected ecosystem. So if it's green in Serengeti, it's also green in Ngorongoro.
I love that
Yeah,
because these images are some of the most beautiful images I've seen in my life. Like this one, I just sent you it. Like how over half the sky is like hidden by the forest because the crater rim, you know,
yeah,
that stuff's amazing. That's one of the most fascinating ecosystems to me that I know of. That and
yeah,
like the Kodiak Island archipelago because they have in
yeah,
Alaska the monster-sized brown bears, and it's similar because they have like these mountains that go above the horizon, cover up the sky, and then you see the
yeah,
megafauna on the land. It's amazing. It's like a Jurassic Park almost.
yeah.
Well, you can add anything else you would like to. That was everything for what I wanted to talk about. Obviously, we could dive deeper into every single thing more in the future.
Yeah, sure, sure. I hope so too. And yeah, I'm really happy to get this opportunity to have this conversation.
Yeah, I'm happy
Talk
you
to
wanted to do it.
you. Yeah,
Awesome. And
yeah. So
I will take a look at the footage you sent me. You sent me, and you will continue to send me. And yeah, you said you might send me stuff where they're processing the milk and stuff.
yeah,
Okay, that would be awesome.
um,
I could use that.
yeah. I also have some other footages of one big Maasai ceremony.
Okay.
I'll share that with you, and um, maybe you can get nice story and how you can narrate it. And I'm sure your viewers will like it.
I think so too. Are you using mainly
Yeah.
that AI camera that you showed me that we were using on the trip?
Yeah, I use that one, but also I have another camera. Yeah, it's small, but it's also good.
Mhm. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I love the DJI footage, and I want to just get as many views as possible so we can do more bigger collaborations in the future. But for now, I think we
sure.
got a good system going where I'm just trying to make videos with what I have right now. I have a lot of videos I can make with what I currently have. So yeah, and if I need stuff, I'll message you and I'll give you credit. I'll give credit to any organization you need me to give credit to.
No,
And a good way to raise awareness.
exactly.
All right, James, that's great. Thank you for your time. It's probably late for you now. It's like, what time is it in Nairobi or Kenya, Tanzania area?
Uh, it's 20 minutes past 8.
Oh, it's not too bad, but yeah,
No, yeah, no, it's about
nighttime.
time. I have, no, yeah.
Well, thank you, James. Thanks for coming. Thanks for your time, and thanks for sharing all this awesome info.
Thanks. Looking forward to sharing more. Yeah, being in touch.
Okay, for sure. All right. See you
Thank,
soon. Thanks again.
thanks,
Bye.
thanks.